Hello, good afternoon, class, and happy April 25th, 2025. Let's do a roll call first. I see here we have Duong, Kan, Jiang, Hong, Lin, Ming, Nguyen, Bao, Chi, Dong, Ha, Mai, Lan, and Dong, Hui, Kim, and still waiting for Pham, Long, and Ian. All right, so while we wait for the last remaining three students, Bao, what did you do yesterday after class? Excellent. Thank you for sharing, Bao. And for Dong, why were you late for class yesterday? I understand. Thank you for sharing, and don't worry about it. Don't worry. Lan, how was your dinner last night? Excellent. That sounds like a really tasty dinner. And for Mai, when did you go to sleep last night? That's very good. I'm glad to hear. Thank you for sharing, Mai. And it looks like now Pham, Long, and Hien have joined the class. So, Long, Pham, and Hien, we were reviewing the words that we learned in our last lesson. Words like how, when, why, how, and what. Long, how was your morning today? I'm very glad to hear that. Thank you for sharing. And Pham, how do you prepare for class? That's a very good process. Thank you for sharing. Very good. Now, we're going to review the vocabulary words that I hope you all received yesterday or today before class. We're going to write down the words or type them and their definitions three times each so you could better memorize and internalize these words and their definitions. Excuse me. So, does everybody have their paper, pen, pencil, or typing Word document on their computer prepared? Okay, let's begin with the word story. Story means a narrative. Story is a narrative. The next word is storytelling. Storytelling is the art of expressing a narrative. Storytelling is the art of expressing a narrative. The next word is lesson. Lesson is a structure used to teach. Lesson is a structure used to teach. Theme is the main idea in a narrative. The theme is the main idea in a narrative. The next word is setting. Setting is a time and place. Setting is a time and place. Next word is plot. The plot is the sequence of events in a story. A plot is the sequence of events in a story. The final vocabulary word is character. Character. An entity that influences the plot of a story. Character is an entity that influences the plot of a story. All right, thank you for writing those words and definitions. Now we may proceed to the topic of today, which is stories and storytelling. Now, does anybody have a reason as to why stories are important? Why are stories important for you? Why are they important for people, for us? Yes, Bao? Yes, that is a very good reason. Thank you for sharing, Bao. Does anybody else have any idea why stories are important? Yes, Lynn? Another good reason. Thank you very much, Lynn, for sharing. Does anybody else have any thoughts or any other ideas about why stories are important? All right. So, storytelling, the art of telling a narrative. Stories are important to people. They are, they have been, and they always will be. Stories come in different forms. Narratives come in different forms, and there are different types of stories. Some stories are based from religion, faith, a belief in something greater, or something more powerful, something more influential, something more perfect than people. An example is um, in Islam, there's the Quran. The Quran tells the story of um, world history through the eyes of Islam, the Muslim faith. Arguably, the main character would be Muhammad. Muhammad is the prophet, the sort of prophet messenger from God, whose life is the inspiration for followers of this religion. So Muhammad would be the main character in the Quran. Um, Other types of stories in a different format. This book is about constellations. It is called stargazing. The focus of the narratives described in this book uh, is about why stars are placed where they are in the sky, and the shapes that come about when those stars are connected. And those shapes have histories, they have stories, and these popular stories from looking at the stars do inspire people. Um, they give people meaning, they give people purpose, And it is a different type of storytelling, right, than the Quran. Different types of people in the world are attracted to different stories for different reasons. People find meaning and purpose in different types of stories that they feel they could relate to, that they could connect with. For example, the final book I want to share is called Sing Like Fish. Sing Like Fish is based on scientists making discoveries in the natural world. It takes over the course of just a few days to a few weeks. Um, and this story came out just a few years ago. The type of people who like this type of story are more attracted towards the natural world, maybe world history, especially when it comes to learning about our surroundings. Um, People who are attracted towards discoveries, learning about new things that affect us um, in the real world. A more science-based approach of storytelling that inspires people. So there are different types of stories for different types of people. That's what I am trying to say here. Um, an example story that I like is called Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a fiction, which means it is not real. But like real stories, it does have a plot, it has a conflict, it has characters, it has a setting, it has lessons, morals, and themes. Um, I like Harry Potter because I like spells, magical creatures, and watching characters grow and mature over years. The Harry Potter story takes place over 7 years because in this story, the main character, Harry Potter, begins the story with going to a school um, where he would attend for 7 years. I like this story because he meets many different types of characters, different entities, um, entities with different personalities, animals, people, even plants and trees, different living beings, and some beings that are not living, even objects that have their own personalities. It's a very creative story when it comes to defining what a character is or what a character can be in storytelling for the sake of telling a story that we can relate to, or at least in my case, connect with. And I do like watching the characters grow because with all the types of characters in Harry Potter, I enjoy watching the main character, Harry Potter, and his relationships with different characters change over the course of 7 years. It demonstrates maturity, growth, and development, not just for the main character, but for all the other characters. And at the very end of the story, I believe that the biggest lesson is that different people are not bad. It's very simple lesson, but there are some characters introduced in the beginning of the story that may seem bad, but then by the end of the story, me, the reader, I learn that those characters look bad, they seem bad, but they had good intentions or good reasons for why they made the main character feel uncomfortable. Okay, so now I want everyone to take out their paper, or if you're on a computer, your writing document, and please write down the name of a story that you like. What stories do you like? You can write about one story, you can write about two or more stories if you want. Um, and I'll just give you 1 minute to write this down. You don't have to talk about every single detail in the story, just talk about a story you like and why you like it. Just a few sentences will be fine. I'll give you time to write about your story now. Okay, it looks like everyone is almost complete. Just a few more students. No rush. All right, excellent work, everybody. Now I'm going to divide this class into groups of 4. So 5 students, group members per group. I will have Duong, Kong, Jiang, Hong, Lin in group 1, Min, Jian, Bao, and Qi in group 2, Deng, Ha, Mai, and Lan in group 3, and Dong, Hua, and Kim in group 4. Oh yes, and Pham will join group 1, Long group 2, and Hien group 3. Okay, and in each group, I want you all to decide on one story that you your group wants to present to this class. Maybe you all chose the same story, maybe you all chose different stories, but in your individual groups, decide on one story that you want to share and present to the class. All right, I will separate you all into your groups now. I will give you a few minutes to decide, and then I will bring you back here afterwards, after you have chosen a story. All right, hello, group 1. I'm just checking in. How is your decision making? Are you all almost at a decision for which story to present? Okay, good job. I'm gonna go check on the other groups now. Group 2, hello. How are you all with choosing one story? Okay, you still have time. Good job. I will now check on the other groups. Hello, group 3. How are we with the story? Yes, just one story. Oh, we will talk about the presentation of the story after you choose a story. The purpose right now is just to choose one story. Okay, I'm gonna go check on group 4 now. Hello, group 4, how are you? All right, excellent. Good job, good job. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the main group. And I just want to talk about the requirements for the group presentation. For the story you chose, I want you to describe the setting, characters, plot, and lessons and themes. Presentations should be 3 minutes maximum, and you could use gestures, props, acting, or any other visual aids that you would want to use while presenting.